My student, Maria, was so excited for her first solo trip to Europe. But on her very first night, she made a small vocabulary mistake that had big consequences. She accidentally booked a bed in a huge 16-person mixed-gender dorm instead of the small female-only one she wanted. She felt incredibly uncomfortable and couldn't sleep at all. This one vocabulary mix-up almost ruined the start of her dream vacation. Here's what went wrong and how you can avoid it.
Wow, Sarah, that's a tough way to start a trip. It really shows how a few key words can make all the difference between a fantastic travel experience and a stressful one. Hello, everyone, and welcome to English with Sarah and James.
Exactly. So today, we're going to give you the essential language you need to stay in hostels like a pro. We'll cover the must-know vocabulary for booking, checking in, and sharing a space, so you can feel confident and safe on your travels.
That's right. By the end of this episode, you'll have the tools to navigate any hostel situation, ensuring your adventure gets off on the right foot, unlike poor Maria's.
So the key mistake Maria made was misunderstanding the term mixed-gender dormitory. She saw the price was cheap and just clicked book. She didn't realize dormitory meant a large shared room and mixed gender meant men and women would be sleeping in the same space.
That's such a common trap for first-time hostel goers. The word dormitory itself can be tricky. What's a simple way for our listeners to remember it?
I always tell my students to think of it as a dorm for short. It comes from a Latin word related to sleeping. A dormitory is just a large bedroom with multiple beds, usually bunk beds, for several people who are not traveling together. The pronunciation can be a little tricky too. It's dormitory. The stress is on that third syllable, dormitory.
That's a great tip. And knowing the difference between a mixed-gender dorm and a female-only or male-only dorm is crucial for comfort and safety. It's the first step to making sure your trip gets off on the right foot.
Gets off on the right foot. That's a fantastic idiom, James. What exactly do you mean by that?
It just means to start something like a trip or a new relationship in a very positive and successful way. Booking the right room helps you start your vacation well. Another key term to look for is en-suite. If you see a room advertised with an en-suite bathroom, it means the bathroom is inside your room, so you only share it with your roommates.
Yes, that's a huge plus. The alternative is a shared bathroom, which is usually down the hall and shared by the entire floor. Knowing the term ensuite can really improve your experience, especially if you value a bit more privacy. It's often worth paying a few extra euros for.
Absolutely. And once you're checked in, the next essential item is a locker. Most hostels provide them, but you often need to bring your own padlock to secure your valuables. Never leave your passport or laptop just lying on your bunk bed. That's just asking for trouble.
That's a golden rule of hostel life. Use the locker. Finally, let's talk about the common area. This is the social hub of the hostel where you can meet other travelers, cook a meal in the shared kitchen, or just relax. It's the best place to make new friends. If Maria had felt more confident with her English, she could have gone to the common area to ask other guests for advice.
That's a great point. The common area is where the hostel community really comes alive. So don't be shy. Go say hello. Now, I think it's a good time to break down some of that key vocabulary we just used.
I agree. Let's start with that very important word that caused Maria so much trouble. Dormitory. As we said, a dormitory, or dorm for short, is a large room containing multiple beds that are rented out to individuals. Think of it like a shared bedroom for travelers. For example, you might say, I booked a bed in an 8-bed dormitory to save money.
That's a perfect example. And the pronunciation again is dormitory. Notice the stress is on the tor part, dormitory. A related word is bunk bed, which is a piece of furniture where two beds are stacked one above the other. In a dorm, you'll often need to specify if you want the top bunk or the bottom bunk. If Maria had known to ask for a female-only dorm, she could have avoided her stressful first night completely.
Exactly. The second key piece of vocabulary is ensuite bathroom. Ensuite is a French term that we use in English to mean that a bathroom is directly connected to and only accessible from the bedroom. So an ensuite bathroom is private to the people in that room. For example, a booking website might say, "Our private rooms all have ensuite bathrooms."
It's a great feature to look for. The pronunciation is en suite. It sounds like two separate words, en suite. A synonym could be a private bathroom, but en suite specifically means it's attached to the room. The opposite, as you mentioned, is a shared bathroom. Understanding this term helps you choose the level of privacy you want. Maria might have felt much more comfortable if she had chosen a dorm with an ensuite, even a mixed one, because it's shared with fewer people.
That's very true. And finally, let's review that great idiom you used, to get off on the right foot. This expression means to begin a relationship or an activity in a positive way. For instance, you could say, "I wanted to get off on the right foot with my new roommates, so I introduced myself and offered to share my snacks."
It's a very common and friendly expression.
It is, and it's very useful. The opposite would be to get off on the wrong foot, which is what happened to Maria, unfortunately. Her trip started badly. You can use this for anything, from a new job to a new project. You might tell a friend, "Make sure you arrive on time for your first day of work," to get off on the right foot. Knowing key hostel vocabulary is the best way to ensure your trip gets off on the right foot, preventing the kind of stress and discomfort our student experienced.
Absolutely. So to avoid a situation like Maria's, where a simple booking mistake leads to a terrible first night, remember this key advice. Double check if you are booking a mixed gender or a single gender dormitory. Understand what en suite means and decide if you want that extra privacy.
And remember that these words are your tools for creating a safe and enjoyable trip. Learning them isn't just about passing a test. It's about having the confidence to explore the world. So practice them, use them when you book your next adventure, and you'll be staying in hostels like a pro.
Thanks for listening to English with Sarah and James.
Keep practicing, and we'll talk to you in the next episode. Happy travels!